Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 23rd, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hopefully the day has treated you well. As for me, it's been good. It's been a solid day. I'll definitely take it as opposed to yesterday. No surprises. So yeah, love that. But yeah, I mean, obviously I have a lot on my mind. But shout out to, all the homies that hit me up. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. But yeah, we got up and we got after it. It was the day before Christmas Eve. So kind of had a little bit of Friday vibes at the warehouse in a way. But overall we had to get after it. We had to, get through it. So that's what we did. I get to work, and sure enough, the crusher is full. They haven't swapped it out yet. We weren't sure, what was going to happen there. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit and wait while I can, because we all know that come January 1st, I'm going to have to find things to do upstairs. So yeah, I love that for me. Love that. But yeah, until then, I'm just like not going to worry about that, But yeah, we sat on our duff for a little bit, and I will say I got to witness a very wholesome, Christmas-coded moment in maintenance while I was waiting for the trash to, get swapped out. I was chilling, and the maintenance guys weren't there initially. I guess they were running around doing this, that, and a third. But it turns out one of the things they were doing were they were checking on another coworker's car, and they were trying to inspect it to figure out what was wrong with it. And they all put their heads together, or should I say the three of the guys, they put their heads together, and they were trying to troubleshoot it, and at one point I come outside and I'm watching them do it, and they get a good idea of what they need, and they're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. I mean, we can do this for this person. And mind you, the person they're fixing the car for is some I think she might be maybe damn near 70, 80 years old. She's old. She's an older lady. And, she's had this car for a really long time. Probably needs a good amount of work, but they're just trying to obviously do enough work on it today so that they, can keep it running for her. And, they figure out the problem, and they're like, okay, we're gonna get these parts. And essentially they all threw a bunch of money together, on the fly. And, spearheaded by the head of maintenance, got the parts, found the parts, went and got it all together, got the car going. And I just thought that was really cool and really wholesome. And I was chilling in the break room later in the day, and I heard the lady, because she works in the break room, and she was just telling everybody how oh yeah, they fixed my car, my day's so much better, I wasn't able to get around, this was really helpful. And I was just like, that's so sweet, that's so wholesome. Low-key, I'm definitely gonna miss just moments like that, I guess, because overall, I know I talk shit on maintenance, maybe on the ideological spectrum or whatever, in a lot of ways I defer, or, I'm different from all those guys, but I do believe that they all, to some extent, some level, some measure, all have a heart of gold. So, I just wanted to give a special shout out to them, and was like, damn, that's a wholesome moment. But anyway, 2 hours into my shift, the Rumpke guys finally came, swapped out the dumpster pretty quick once they got there. And I got after it. It really was slow. There's just not that much work. We got some skids to do. The person who comes in on my secondary, second shift to work with me, we talked about end of the year type stuff. What was your favorite game? What was your favorite album? What are some things you're trying to do next year? That kind of shit, end of the year kind of thing. So that was kind of a nice impromptu conversation. I appreciate that. That was cool. But yeah, overall, it was a good day at work. The vibes were solid. For me, it was a bit somber. I will say, one of the maintenance guys, we were commiserating because he could kind of tell I was a little off. My vibe was a little off at the top of the day. And I just came out and told him the situation. And his face got like long. He's like, ooh, yeah, that's not good, bud. And he proceeds to tell me his, POV with this person, this supervisor that is going to be my supervisor. And essentially is like, yeah, like this dude's a huge piece of shit, da da da. He's done this, he's done that. Like he's like a whole asshole. And I'm like, yeah, man, I know, I've experienced it. And he's like trying to like troubleshoot like me out of the situation. I think after like one attempt, I just tell him to shut up, like just stop, like it's fine, thank you, but you're not helping anymore. You're making me upset. I'm good, thank you though. I'm glad you get it. It was that kind of thing. But no, overall the day was good. I do feel like my mood is better. I think it's just gonna be one of those moments that I'm just going to have to be adaptable, I'm going to have to go back to this situation and just do what I do, and mind my manners. But I think I can play ball. I think it'll be okay. And I'm sure, is there going to be maybe a little bit more turbulence this year? Probably a little bit, but I'll be here to yap about it and it'll all be good. We'll get over it. We'll get through it. So hell yeah to that. Moving on to the gym portion of our day. We got to the gym and there was a decent amount of people, but I will say almost not as much. That being said, I wasn't able to touch the Smith machine, but that's okay. I was able to get on free weights. I did like 2 of my whole circuitous sets on that. So I got a lot of my movements done there. Got my filler work in, got my core work in. So that was nice. Did a full cardio set. Love that. So overall, a good gym workout session. Now tomorrow, it'll probably be a little bit different. I'll be not working, so I'm hopefully, knock on wood, excited to get into the gym early. But I'll keep you posted on how that goes. And then I also was like trying to like work out a little bit heavier today. I feel like it's harder to do with like dumbbells or whatever, but you do what we can, hit the 70s, hit the 65s. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get like a full heavy workout in. Since Christmas, I won't be able to go to the gym at all. Womp womp. But yeah. So yeah, that was my day. After the gym, I came home, did my little stretches, had my little snack. And yeah, now we're here after some researching, ready to yap it up about some news, which truly, for better or for worse, we have a lot to cover. So I'm trying to like keep the yapping to a minimum. Okay. Yes. Let's go ahead and get our startup going and let's get into some news. Actually, let me go ahead and get that water. Oh, I will say a bit of an addendum, corrections from my blog portion yesterday. Turns out my soon-to-be former supervisor did not take vacation early. They just left early. So they were there today. But of course, did they talk to me? No. So there you go. Charlie Chaplin on the beat now. Anyway. All right. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Ooh. From NPR. U.S. strikes another alleged drug smuggling boat in Eastern Pacific. The U.S. military said Monday that it had conducted another strike against a boat it had said was smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing one person. Obviously, there's some yada, 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 some details here. But this brings the total to at least 105 people who have been killed in 29 known strikes since early September. So really just wanted to highlight that for our Boat Watch segment that we've been kind of having ongoing. I think they are still tailing a third oil tanker. Also, another thing I didn't mention with the whole oil tanker thing is that in response, Venezuela has resorted to escorting, some of their ships, if not all of their ships. I'm not entirely sure, but essentially to try to provide some support. And I think they might be changing some of their routes potentially, because obviously a lot of money is on the line when it comes to these oil tankers. And I think it means a lot to Venezuela to not lose these, not lose these ships, to not lose this oil for sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next bit. And a lot of the story, I'm not going to lie to you, or these stories today, we're in the Trump verse. It's just one of those days. Sorry about it. Let's see. This is a Greenland story. I have to hit the reader to use it though. I have to go over the river and through the woods. So bear with me here. Sorry. I have to literally reload, unload. Trump says U.S. needs Greenland after naming special envoy. There we go. All right. Donald Trump has sparked a fresh row with Denmark after appointing a special envoy to Greenland, the vast Arctic island he has said he would like to annex. In response to a question from the BBC about the new role of Jeff Landry, the Republican governor of Louisiana, Trump said the U.S. needed Greenland for national protection and that we have to have it. Landry, he said, would lead the charge as special envoy to Greenland, a semi-autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark. The move has angered Copenhagen, which said it would call the U.S. ambassador for an explanation. Greenland's prime minister said the island must decide our own future and its territorial integrity must be respected. It's also crazy, too, that this guy is still going to keep his day job. He's still going to be governor while he's doing this. I'm like, how do you do both there? But, I guess this is part of the course. I was kind of hoping that this was something that was just going to get lost in the shuffle for Trump, or that the Trump administration was kind of focusing more on Venezuela in the South, because they kind of couldn't do these kind of things. They couldn't make these maneuvers. I can't recall. I feel like I cannot remember if we talked about the whole, more or less, I feel like I can say spies, but we sent, essentially operatives, people, or at least people went, maybe they would say of their own accord, to try to survey and coerce people to get on side with a potential campaign, a push to kind of, secure Greenland for America. That was the thing that had gotten found out and exposed. It was a bit of a row. And then that was kind of the last big, kerfuffle that I heard. So this is the new thing. He's not over it. He's not done. He wants it. He wants it bad. So, sure, I guess we'll see how that goes. But I felt like it was, important to mention that, Trump has not set his sights off of Greenland, and he is going to try to do more to secure it. At least, I guess, come 2026. Anyway, from ABC News, Trump announces Trump class of new Navy battleships. Dude, we're getting Trump boats, dude. Trump loves putting his name on fucking everything. Also, it's worth noting, too, that I believe he's being sued over the Trump administration is being sued over the Trump Kennedy Center thing. That's a bit of random side news. I don't know. I really have not I've not covered that directly. It's, it's just in the verse. President Donald Trump announced a new class of battleships to build out what he has dubbed the Navy's Golden Fleet, that he says will be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. And it's like, brother, those are kind of counterintuitive. You're not making them bigger and faster. But anyway, we're calling it the Golden Fleet that we're building for the United States Navy. As you know, we're desperately in need of ships. Our ships, some of them have gotten old and tired and obsolete. Yeah, like our fucking presidents. I'm not reading this quote. I don't give a fuck. We're zooming on ahead. The president rolled out 2 ships, but said the administration's goal was to build 20 to 25 of them. The battleship type was a large warship that went out of service in the early 1990s. So these motherfuckers are dated. They reference, from this ABC News article, retired Navy Admiral Mark Montgomery, a senior director of the Conservative Foundation for Defense of Democracies, said he suspects the first battleships could easily top $10 billion to design, build, and deploy. That's another thing. The administration, Trump rolled this shit out, has no mention of a fucking number. How much is it going to cost us, in taxpayer dollars? But let's see here. He talks about how like cool they're gonna be. They're gonna have fucking lasers, dog. Like he's talking about like their fucking Gundam boats. I don't fucking know. I mean, it sounds cool, but Montgomery called the effort to focus on a massive ship a mistake. These battleships are behemoths and not the ships the Navy needs. The Navy needs a distributed fleet with weapons on a large fleet of minimally manned platforms to combat the Chinese threats at sea. These battleships will achieve none of these tactical goals, he told ABC News in an email. Now, people were asking him, like, so, like, are you trying to build this to combat, like, you know, China? Because, like, that's kind of, like, the rivaling Navy, you know? Is that who you were, like, going up against? And Trump's response is like, no, it's for everybody. You know, it's for anyone and everyone. Anybody can get it. Get the Golden Fleet. Which, also, this sounds like some fucking Warhammer shit. It's so fucking lame and nerdy. And also, it just doesn't sound effective. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think that is what's making China's Navy so superior. They've just at it. They've just been at it. And they don't have any kind of like, I mean, they do have guardrails, guy rails, but essentially they are locked in. If this is the project, they're going to be all in on it. There's no back and forth. Like, even with Trump and this grand idea, like, this is something he came up with. Trump won, couldn't get it implemented in time, lost. And then it's like it was spaced out and now he's trying to do it again in earnest. And it's like, it's just a bad idea. It wasn't a good idea then. It's not a good idea now. But it just kind of goes to show part of the error, or part of the problem is it's just like, you kind of can't get it like that, brother. Like, it's not a smart call. It's not a smart move. And who knows if you're going to be even around to, you know, see it to fruition. I mean, are you going to get like an extra term, that bonus term? You know, we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this new Golden Fleet, at least give it a mention. We can go ahead and move along. All right, this is maybe the meat of the matter, the next two stories. I feel like the ones that people are talking about. You know, we're back on the Epstein files. God motherfucking damn it. Let me take a water break. Another tranche has been released. I feel like this is like the third wave. Oh, I got a burp. Nope. All right. From NPR. Justice Department releases more Epstein files and some mention Trump. The Justice Department released a new batch of files Tuesday related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, which contained hundreds of references to President Trump. Trump has not been accused of wrongdoing in connection to Epstein, though he had a well-documented friendship with the disgraced financier in the 1980s, 90s, and 2000s. This latest tranche, love the word tranche, gives more details on Trump's relationship with Epstein, including documentation of Trump's flying on Epstein's private jet in the 1990s. Epstein's relationship with powerful politicians and businessmen, and in particular, to what degree Trump may have been aware of Epstein's crimes, has been a central question as the DOJ has continued to release the files. So yeah, I mean, they were supposed to release this shit last Friday. Essentially says, hey, we're doing the best we can. They've been putting up shit. It's been like I've said before, pretty much mostly redacted. There's also been issues where they release a thing and then sometimes they just take it off. And they're like, hey, you had this thing, and it was like a picture with Trump in it, and like some women or some girls, whatever. Like, what happened to that? And it's like, oh, well, we took it down because there were victims in it. Well, no. There's just, we needed to make sure that there were no victims in it. It's like Todd Blanche is giving answers like that. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but essentially, it's like you guys are doing this in such a fucking bad, sloppy way, and all of it was supposed to be released. And you're not really giving a good reason here as to like why you're not releasing it. It's just kind of like, we're kind of just doing it. We're working on it. Let's see. In a Tuesday morning social media post, the department said that the latest batch contains nearly 30,000 pages, adding that it includes, and this is where it gets interesting, that it includes untrue or sensationalist claims about Trump. When asked for comment on the newest files, the White House referred NPR to the Justice Department statement. The latest set of files includes a 2020 email from an unidentified federal prosecutor saying Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously had been reported, or that we were aware. The prosecutor said Trump was listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, including 4 on which Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator, and herself, a convicted sex offender, was also a passenger. The prosecutor also wrote that one flight included only Trump, Epstein, and a 20-year-old whose name was redacted. Flight logs included in the latest files show that Trump's flights were primarily domestic between New Jersey, Palm Beach, and Washington, D.C. Let's see, skipping ahead here. The files also include a 2019 letter supposedly sent by Epstein to convicted sex offender Larry Nassar. We've talked about Larry Nassar before. Yuckers. The former U.S. gymnastics team doctor. But since releasing the letter, the Justice Department said it is a fake. The letter, which says Epstein sent it from a correctional facility in Manhattan, says that our president shares our love of young girl let me run that back. Our president shares our love of young nubile girls. A stamp on the letter says it was returned to sender. The Justice Department posted on social media there were some inconsistencies with the letter, such as a Virginia postmark instead of a New York postmark, and the return address listing the wrong jail for Epstein. After initially saying Tuesday they were looking into the validity of the letter, the DOJ said the FBI had concluded it was a fake. The fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the president or released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law, the Justice Department said. There's something so odd about this because, once again, Trump ran on this whole campaign of you can't weaponize, the government like Joe Biden has done, like the liberals have done, like the Democrats are doing, yada, yada, yada. And then you just see the DOJ putting out this information with one hand and then trying to defend Donald Trump with the other, And it's like, you don't have to do that. Like, you just tell the story as it fucking is, right? And then you can just let that shit speak for itself. No, it's just weird that you have this narrative being set by the DOJ. It's just so strange to me. I'm sure some hogs could come up with where Merrick Garland from, the Biden administration's DOJ, has done that. But this seems so stilted, so blatant. Like, you just don't have to do this, and they're going out of their way to do it. But so it goes that's how they're gonna fucking play this thing. But yeah, I mean, this was relevant. So we had the plane thing, we had the Larry Nassar thing, which they're saying, fake, not real, fake news. But then we also had a mention of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew. So yeah, this is coming out of NBC News. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor appears to have asked Ghislaine Maxwell for new inappropriate friends. Epstein files show. I'm going to love hearing his comment of how he gets out of this. How he was like, not saying what he is saying here. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew, appears to have sent an email to Ghislaine Maxwell asking if she could set him up with some new inappropriate friends, according to documents included in the Justice Department's third release of its Jeffrey Epstein files. The email exchange is from August 2001 and starts with a message from an address labeled "The Invisible Man." According to the records released on Tuesday, the sender is not identified in the records, but states that they are at Balmoor Summer Camp, likely a reference to Balmoor Castle, the royal family's estate in Scotland, and signs the email as Andrew. Mountbatten-Windsor did not immediately respond to requests for comment sent by NBC News to an email address associated with the Duke of York's office. Skimming ahead here. All right, let's read it. Have you found some new inappropriate friends? The email to Maxwell reads, let me know when you are coming over, as I am free from the 25th of August until the 2nd of September and want to go somewhere hot and sunny with some fun people before having to put my nose firmly to the grindstone for the fall. Any ideas gratefully received, the message continues. See ya, A. XXX. Ugh. Maxwell replied a few hours later, according to the records. So sorry to disappoint you. However, the truth must be told. I've only been able to find appropriate friends, she said. We'll let you know about some church meetings on those dates. Kisses, G, 1X. Don't you love when you send 3Xs, they send 1X? The original sender replies to the message 2 days later, writing, distraught. God, this one fucked me up. You probably wouldn't know, but I lost my valet on Thursday. He died in his sleep. I don't know where this accent is creeping up, but just let it happen. He has been with me since I was 2, the sender wrote. I am a little off balance as not only has my office been restructured, I have left the RN, and now my whole life is in turmoil as I have no one to look after me. He was a real rock and almost a part of the family. Almost. Let me not get carried away. RN appears to be a reference to the Royal Navy, the United Kingdom's Navy. Mountbatten-Windsor, 65, formerly known as Prince Andrew. I love that they have to keep fucking saying it. Like, brother, he's not Prince. He's not Prince. He's not the symbol. He's a pedophile. But yeah, he's been stripped of his shit by old King Sausage Fingers, aka King Charles. But yeah, man, this shit looks pretty fucking damning. Like, specifically because you started off with, I'm looking for some inappropriate friends to canoodle with. Please send them my way. And then, when she's like, yeah, no, sorry, can't do, fresh out. He's like, I'm distraught. I just lost my valet. Oh, I just need some crazy punani. Like, brother, that you're unhinged. This motherfucker has been unhinged the whole time, which is surprising no one, but crazy he just clickety these fucking emails out. So fucking wild to me. So once I heard this shit, I was like, I gotta yap about this. The rest is some recap on Virginia Joffrey. We've talked about that before in some detail, so we won't linger there. I got to get to some Supreme Court news, trying to keep this, moving merrily along. You feel me? But yeah, we had to talk about that shit. Like, I was like, what the fuck, man? So, and it seems like, yeah, there's going to be more to come with this Epstein file shit, Like I hated when I said it towards the end of summer or whatever, but this might be an Epstein forever world that we are living in. It's this timeline. We cannot escape him. I'm seeing more and more photos of these motherfuckers, and he's been dead. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's just insane. But anyway, from The Guardian. U.S. Supreme Court blocks Trump bid to deploy National Guard to Chicago. The U.S. Supreme Court refused on Tuesday to let Donald Trump send National Guard troops to the Chicago area in an important reining in of the U.S. president's efforts to expand the use of the military for domestic purposes in historic moves against a growing number of Democratic-led jurisdictions. The nation's highest court denied the U.S. Department's request to lift a judge's order in October that has blocked the deployment of hundreds of National Guard personnel in a legal challenge brought by Illinois state officials and local leaders who had opposed any federalization of those troops to offer backup to immigration enforcement. The department had asked to allow the deployment while the litigation plays out. There have been sustained protests outside an Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, facility in Broadview on the outskirts of Chicago, with aggressive tactics used against the resistance by the authorities. We're just going to, it's kind of hop and skip here. The justices decided on a 6-3 vote on Tuesday to back a lower court and ruled that the Trump administration had not met the legal burden needed to show that it was not able to execute the laws of the land without federal military intervention. The three justices leaning furthest to the right on the bench, Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, and Neil Gorsuch, dissented on Tuesday. So then dissenting is not surprising, okay, but it is interesting that, Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett, they were all like, no, we'll play middle here and we'll side with the liberals and, we'll flip it on this. Yeah, you would think that this is something that, Daddy Trump wants. This is something that I don't know. For some reason, I was of the idea and vibe that they were kind of okay with it in terms of this majority, this conservative majority here, that they were kind of down to let this shit rock the way Trump wanted. But I guess here in Chicago, they're like, nah, this isn't as okay. Not to say that this is done. I know this is going to probably keep coming back in the courts in so many permutations and in other states and shit like that. But this is a cool win. I'll take it. You love to see it. I know we haven't covered as much Supreme Court stuff this season. I just either haven't heard much about, any big cases, or I'm just like, oh, I'm not covering that. There's other things I got on the fryer. I don't know. So it goes. But I wanted to at least touch on this. I know there's more details. But for the sake of time, we're going to move along to our very last and un-Trump related story. We love that part. But bad news, it's sad. So there's that part. I'm sorry. On Christmas Eve, I'm really hitting you with a real bummer. Oh, there's that burp. Ooh, delayed gratification. Sorry. Okay, let's take our last break and let's take it to Pennsylvania. Oh. Oh yeah, worth noting, I have been trying to use my time now that things are kind of slowing down. And I had some time to kind of hang out in maintenance to try to write a couple of entries on my extra work or my extra thoughts on the Patreon. So if you are a newsie, there are some, a bit of extra things. I did a quick talk on America Fest, the whole Turning Point thing. There was so much there, and we just have so much on the docket this week. It seems I just really wasn't able to get it. But I mean, you had me at conservative infighting. You had me at people booing Shapiro. Well, I mean, maybe not booing, but talking shade on shade. And Nicki Minaj, Erica Kirk, what the fuck? Anyway, like I said, more there, not too much, but if you want to go look at that, you can. Goddamn, we are Charlie Kirk. Oh boy. All right, from ABC News. At least 2 dead in catastrophic explosion at nursing home in Pennsylvania. At least 2 people are dead, and several individuals are believed to be missing following a catastrophic explosion at a nursing home in eastern Pennsylvania, officials said Tuesday. This is a very, very tragic moment for this community, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said at a press briefing Tuesday evening. The explosion occurred at the Silver Lake Nursing Home in Bristol, which is about 25 miles northeast of Philadelphia, causing a large fire. There was a major structural collapse with parts of the first floor into the basement with persons trapped. Bristol Fire Chief Kevin DiPolito, I like that name, said at Tuesday's press briefing. It's unclear at this time how many people are injured, with victims going to multiple hospitals, authorities said. At least 5 people are believed to be unaccounted for in the incident, though authorities stress that the number is preliminary. So yeah, I'm covering this a bit early. Let's see here. There was a heavy odor of natural gas during the emergency response, DiPolito said. So that might be something that plays a factor here. But yeah, I mean, obviously condolences to the family. We'll say shout out to the firefighters, rescue who, moved immediately in the situation, acted very, effectively, or doing the best they can. I feel like they don't get enough fucking flowers, for sure. They don't get enough goddamn kudos, for real. So, shout out to them. Props to them. But yeah, that's it. We will come back to the story maybe if I get some more details, things like that. But that is the episode for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/AZANews. Become a newsie today. Roll call is coming up soon. It's coming up at the first of the month, the top of the year. So get in there, get in where you fit in. Shout you out, plug some projects if you like, whatever. It's up to you. Anyway, free hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, follow on Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts are always appreciated. But you don't have to do none of that. You can just take those stars and just shove them on the shelf. Like Barry Weiss takes fucking, bad Trump stories. You just put them over there. Don't fucking worry about it, okay? I just appreciate you tuning in. I think that shit's really fucking cool. Shout out. Shout out to you, okay? You listener, my dear listener. Thank you so much. As we cruise into a merry Christmas, if that's what you're celebrating. Also, shout out if you're celebrating some other things, like some Kwanzaa, like some Hanukkah. I don't know, insert holiday cheer festivities here. Hell yeah, we love that. But yes, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.